Okay, today we're holding Mem Tes, Amud Aleph, Pesachim Mem Tes Amud Aleph. Start with the Mishnah all the way at the top of the Amud. So the Mishnah says like this: Arba Asar Shachalis b'Shabbos. If you have Erev Pesach falls out on Shabbos, like it happened 2 years last year, that Erev Pesach falls out on Shabbos 2 years ago. Erev Pesach falls out on Shabbos. So what do we do with the chametz? So the first opinion is Mevarin Esakel Melifnei Shabbos. The first opinion is, we're going to see what that opinion is soon. The first opinion is that on Erev Shabbos, on Friday, meaning not on your Daled, on your Gimel, you should burn everything from, burn all your chametz from your house. That's the words of Rabbi, David and Meir. That's Meir's opinion. Chacham says, Bismanei, Chacham says you don't burn the chametz. You don't get rid of the chametz on Erev Shabbos. You get rid of the chametz on Shabbos. Even though it's on Shabbos, you get rid of the chametz on Shabbos. Obviously, it doesn't mean to burn it on Shabbos. There's different ways of getting rid of the chametz. We'll see later on. It's also brought down Shachnach that you can get rid of the chametz by flushing down the toilet or by scrunching it up without burning it. So Chacham's opinion is you don't have to do it on Erev Shabbos. You can do it on Shabbos itself. Third opinion is Rabbi Lezer bar Tzadok came in. Rabbi Lezer bar Tzadok says Truma Melifnei Shabbos. It depends what type of chametz. If it's Truma. So regarding the truma, if you have a loaf of bread, let's say that's truma, so you can't eat it on Shabbos anyway because you're not a kohen. So either you give it to a kohen on Erev Shabbos, or you should burn it on Erev Shabbos because it's not going to be able to be eaten on Shabbos. But cholin bismanon, if you have challah or cereal, whatever you have left to eat on Shabbos, you could eat whatever you can until the time of being chametz comes and then burn. So there are three opinions. First opinion is you burn everything on Erev Shabbos. Second opinion is that you burn everything you get rid of all the chametz on Shabbos. And the third opinion is that if it's chulin, you get rid of it on Shabbos. If it's truma, you get rid of it Erev Shabbos. Says the Gemara. Tanya Rabbi Lezer bar Tzadok came. Rabbi Lezer bar Tzadok says in a brayso, Pam achas Shabbos Abba b'Yavne. One Shabbos, my father stayed in Yavne. Lezer saying his father was Tzaddik. His father stayed in Yavne, and that Shabbos that he stayed in Yavne, that Shabbos he stayed in Yavne was Erev Pesach. Uba Zunin Memuna Shal Gamliel. Zunin, who was the Gaba, or the messenger of Rabbi Gamliel, Gamliel was the Nasi. And he made an announcement, and he says, he said, it came the time to get rid of the chametz. And I went after my father, and we got rid of the chametz. So here we see that Rabbi Gamliel paskin that we should get rid of the chametz on Shabbos, not get rid of everything before. So that's a brayso. So we see how this was implemented practically, Rabbi Gamliel's shita. Says the Gemara. Next Mishnah. Someone who's on his way to Shechtas Korban Pesach, or someone's on his way to give his son a bris milah, or he's on his way to eat sudas erisin bebeis chamev. We'll explain what that means in a second. Or he's on the way to do all these three mitzvahs, either Shechtas Pesach, or giving a bris to his son, or eating a sudas mitzvah. And on his way, he remembered that he has chametz in his house. So what should he do? So the Mishnah says, if he has enough time, that's the beginning of the day, he has enough time to go back home, burn his chametz, and then come back and do his mitzvah. So then, that's what he should do. He should go home and burn his chametz. But if he's going to go home, let's say it's a big journey, he's already very far from his house. If he's going to go back to his house, and by the time he gets to his house to burn his chametz, he's not going to have time left during the day, because it's going to be shkia to come back to his mitzvah, either bris milah or Shechtas Korban Pesach, and so forth. So what should he do? He should mevatel the chametz in his house. He's parted from burning the chametz. He just has to mevatel the chametz in his heart. Yeah, we explained a few times at the beginning of the Masechta that Midiraisa, you're able to mevatel the chametz in your heart. You don't have to burn it. Chacham u'mesaken that you should burn it. So when the chacham u'mesaken should burn it, only if it's not getting in the way of mitzvah deiraisa. But if there's a mitzvah deiraisa, for example, to give your kid a bris milah, so since through you burning your chametz, you're going to mevatel the mitzvah deraisa. So Chacham said, oh, you don't have to burn your chametz, you could just be mevatel in your heart. Says the Mishnah further, what if you're on the way to Lahatzim and Anachrim, you're on the way to save Yidden who are getting chased by Goyim, or to save a Yid, min anar, to save a Yid from drowning in a river, or min alistim, to save a Yid from bandits, min adleika, to save a Yid from fire, min avapeles, to save a Yid from getting, who's trapped under a broken down building. So all these cases, he's saving a Jew who is b'makim sakan, he's saving a Jew who is in a dangerous state. So then, even if there's enough time for him to go back home and still finish off what he has to do, meaning he'll be able to save the Jew if he goes back, even if he'll have enough time to go back home and then come back and save the Jew, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't go back home, you should battle the chametz in his heart, and then go straight away to save the Yid. Regarding saving a Yid, there's nothing more important, and don't take any chances. We don't have to go back home and then come back to save the Jew later, even if it would be theoretically if it would be theoretically possible. Let's say he lives around the corner, whatever it is, no, it doesn't matter. Every second counts. He has to go, continue on his way, and be about the chametz in his heart. What if he's going, a third case? What if he's going nishbei shvishas rishus? What if he's on his way to make a tchum? Meaning, we spoke about this in Eruvin last year also, at length. That a person wants to walk 2,000 amas. A person can only walk 2,000 amas outside his house on Shabbos, Yom Tiv. If he wants to walk further than that, what he has to do is on Erev Shabbos, he has to be kainish risasa. He has to be set himself up at a certain destination, and then he would be able to have 2,000 amos in that destination that he set himself up. So what if he's on the way to do that? He's on the way to set himself up to be kaina, to live there for a certain amount of time, meaning a certain when Shabbos comes in, and then he'll be able to have 2,000 amos for that to walk from there. So we say, if he's on the way to do that, yachzim miyad, that doesn't count. He has to come back home and burn his chametz. In case Chachamim weren't mevatel the takana for someone who's on his way to make an erev tchum. Says Mishnah further, someone who was on his way outside Yerushalayim and he remembered that he has meat, that's holy meat, it's kachin. And the din is, you can't bring kachin meat outside Yerushalayim. So what should you do? Do you have to go back to Yerushalayim and burn the meat there, or do you burn the meat where you are? So the Mishnah says, Im avar seifim, if you already passed hard seifim, so then Sefer b'mkeimer, he doesn't have to go back to Yerushalayim. He's already outside Yerushalayim. He already was over taking the meat out of Yerushalayim, and therefore he should burn the meat where he is. V'im lav, but if he never passed hard seifim yet, Chayzer, he goes back to Yerushalayim. The Sefer is now bira. He burns it in front of the bira, meaning bira is where the harbayis is, and he burns the meat there with the wood from the mizbeach. So we have two hirais over here. The Mishnah is speaking about one case of someone who remembers he has chametz, he has to get rid of, and the second case is someone who remembers he has meat, he has to get rid of. So says the Mishnah, finishes the Mishnah of ad kama in chayzin. How much is the share for you to go back, side for chametz and side for meat? So the Meir says zev kabetza. Both have to be a kabetza. Meaning, if you're carrying meat that's less than a kabetza, or the chametz in your house is less than a kabetza, now you never have to go back. But if your meat is over a kabetza, or your chametz is over a kabetza, then there's a chiv to go back. That's Meir's opinion. Rabbi Yehuda says no. Where side for meat and side for chametz, the shear to go back, the mechayev to go back is a kazais. I'm going to explain what the machlekes is soon. Third opinion is Chacham say psar kodesh kazais. If you have meat, if the case of meat, if you have meat you didn't burn yet, so that the shear of meat is a kazais. But chametz bekabetza, the shear of chametz is a kabetza. So we have three opinions. How much is the shear for you to go back? Okay, says the Gemara like this. We mentioned one of the cases in the Mishnah was that if someone's on the way to make a sudas erusin, what's a sudas erusin? So in those days, nowadays we have kiddushin and yisurin in the same time, right? We have a chuppah, and then the chassan gives a kala rings makadasher, and then he goes to the yichud room, and that's the chuppah and Nisuin, everything happened at the same time. In time of the Mikdash, and in time of the Gemara, they would have Erusim, which means engagement, or Kiddushin, meaning the Chasm will Makadash his wife. And then you have Nisuin a different time. They wouldn't be in the same time. So make a meal, just like now we make a chasana when there's a Nisuin. They would also make they'll make a meal right after the Kiddushin. So that's what the Gemara is speaking about, that someone's on the way to have a meal after its Kiddushin, which is a Sudas Mitzvah. And that's why he doesn't have to go back. Says the Gemara, we can ask a contradiction. It says in a Braisa, someone's on the way to eat the meal after he just got engaged to his wife, or so the Shosi is going to make a Erev Tchumen outside the city. So Yachsum Yad, he has to go back straight away. So we see the Braisa said, even if someone's on the way for a meal after he got his engagement meal, so that's not a good enough reason for you to move out of your chametz. You have to go back, which is a clear contradiction to our Mishnah, because in the Mishnah we said that if you're on the way for a meal, you're not chayav to go back. Answers the Gemara like Amar Rabbi Yechon. The answer is like Kasha. It's not a question. Because why? Because Rabbi Yehuda, how Rabbi Yasi, the Mishnah goes according to Rabbi Yehuda, and the Braisa that said you should go back goes according to Rabbi Yasi. The Tana, because we learned a Braisa, in different Braisa we learned that the Yehuda and Rabbi Yasi have machlekes. Sudas Eidison, the Suda after they get engaged. The Shus, the Shus meaning is it a nice thing, but it's not a mitzvah. Different Rabbi Yehuda, that's Rabbi Yehuda's opinion. Rabbi Yehuda's opinion holds that it's not counted as the Sudas mitzvah. The same Rabbi Yasi says that mitzvah, it is counted as a Sudas mitzvah. So the Braisa says you have to go if you're on the way to your engagement party. You have to, and you remembered you have chametz, so you have to go back. Goes according to Rabbi Yehuda, which Rabbi Yehuda says that an engagement party is not a mitzvah, and if it's not a mitzvah, so then you have to go back. That Mishnah that says that you don't have to go back, it goes according to the opinion of Rabbi Yasi, which Rabbi Yasi says that the engagement party is a mitzvah, and therefore ha'isik mitzvah part of the mitzvah. You're being isik right now and being in your mitzvah, so you do not have to go back in your house. You can just and burn your chametz. You can just be mavachal the chametz, and that's it. Says the Gemara further, now that we have the explanation of Chisda, the Rabbi explained this Braisa. What does the Rabbi explain? The Rabbi explain machlekes b'suda shniya. The machlekes of whether the suda is a suda's mitzvah or not is only speaking about the second suda. Explain the means in a second. Avol b'suda rishena, but the first suda divrei hakel, everyone agrees mitzvah that it's a mitzvah. So the meaning was that they would make two sudas, two engagement parties. The first engagement party they would make in the father-in-law's house, meaning the chassan would go to the kala's house and make an engagement party there. Afterwards, the chassan would give the kala a whole bunch of gifts and make a separate party just for the chassan and kala. So the priest explained the machlekes that they had, whether the engagement party is a mitzvah or not, is only regarding the second party, the smaller party that the chassan and kala would make. But the first party, everyone agrees that it's a sudas mitzvah. So therefore, we can explain we can even explain that both the Braisa that says you have to go back and burn your chametz, and both the Mishnah inside the Mishnah that says you don't have to go back, they both go according to Rabbi Yehuda. Because why? I have a better explanation. Instead of saying that the Mishnah goes according to Rabbi Yehuda and the Braisa goes according to the Meir, I could say according to Rabbi Yosef, I could say a different explanation. They both go according to Rabbi Yehuda, and they're speaking about different types of parties, like Kashya. The Mishnah that says you don't have to go back burn your chametz is speaking about you're on the way for the first engagement party, which everyone agrees that it's a sudas mitzvah. And and the Braisa that says you do have to go back, it's speaking about you're on the way to the second engagement party, which everyone agrees, which that they have machlekes whether it's sudas mitzvah or not. And the Buddha says it's not a sudas mitzvah, and therefore you have to go back. So now we're speaking about engagement parties. The Gemara goes into a completely different discussion, nothing to do with Pesachim, of what the different things about getting married. Amar Rabbi Yehuda, Tanya, we learn in the Braisa like this. Amar Rabbi Yehuda says, Ani l'shamaiti ela sudas eidusin. I only heard from my teachers that the first suda is the first engagement party is a sudas mitzvah. Avoleisev leinos, but the second suda, meaning the suda that the chassan and kala make by themselves, that's Rabbi Yehuda says I never heard that that's a mitzvah. Amar Rabbi Yosef told him, Anishamaiti, I heard sudas eidusin ve sivleinis. The first suda is a mitzvah and the second suda is a mitzvah. So that's machlekes Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Yossi, whether both sudas are mitzvah or only the first. Tanya Rabbi Shimon said in a brayso like this: Kol suda she'ein sham mitzvah, any suda, any meal that's not a sudas mitzvah, ein talmid chacham rashai lahanis mimenu. A talmid chacham is not permitted to have benefit from that suda. So in those days, now there's also talmid chacham as a special din. Talmid chacham has to be a prestige person. He has to be signified different from everyone else, and therefore it's not respectable for talmid chacham or rav to hang out by any suda that someone makes. If someone's making sudas mitzvah, so then he should be eating there. If someone's not making sudas mitzvah, it's probably going to lead to a whole bunch of different situations we're going to see some. And therefore, you should not, talmid chacham should not have benefit from a suda that's not a sudas mitzvah. Obviously, a suda in his house is fine, but we're here speaking about eating in other people's houses. What's a suda that's not a sudas mitzvah? Rabbi Yechanan gave an example. An example of a suda that's not a sudas mitzvah is a engagement party of a bas kain to a Yisrael. We're going to see what that means soon. And the daughter of a talmid chacham to Amaretz. Why are these things not counted as sudas mitzvah? Because the Rabbi Yechanan said, bas kain Yisrael. If a daughter of a kain gets married to Yisrael, meaning Yisrael gets married to Kohenes, there, the couple will not be blessed. Maihi, what does it mean they won't be blessed? I'm going to explain. Or the kohen is going to die and the husband's going to die and she's going to be almana. Or they're going to get divorced. Or they're not going to have any children. Meaning that if a bas kohen gets married to Yisrael, it's not a good thing, and they're not going to be blessed. Either one of your children or one of them is going to die, or they're going to get divorced. So that's why it's not a sudas mitzvah, because you should not be getting engaged to each other, since it's not a good thing. Another bad thing that's going to happen to the couple if a bas kohen marries a Yisrael, we learned in a brayso that or kevra or her husband's going to bury her, meaning she's going to die before him, or he's going to die early and she's going to bury him. Or they're going to become poor. Says the Gemara, is it true that we just said now that a bas kohen should not marry a Yisrael? But is that true? Is it true? Said, someone wants to get rich. If a Yisrael wants to get rich, Yidbak Bazari Sharani, he should get married to the descendants of Aaron. For sure, if he has Torah, meaning he's a talmid chacham and she's a kohen, for sure they're going to get rich. So here we see that Yisrael should get married to kohen because they're going to become rich. Answer the Gemara, like kasha. It's not a question. Meaning that which the two the contradicting brises, whether they get married to a kohen is a good thing or it's a bad thing, is not a contradiction. Because if a talmid chacham is getting married to a bas kohen, a talmid chacham is getting married to the daughter of a kohen, that is a good thing. But if Amaretz gets married to a kohen, that's a great thing. The descendants of Aaron, and therefore the couple aren't going to be blessed. So if a talmid chacham gets married to Kohenes, it's fine. And they're going to become rich. If Amaretz gets married to Kohenes, then it's not a good thing. Rabbi Yeshua Nasif Kahanta, Rabbi Yeshua married the Kohenes, meaning a bas kohen, chalash, and Rabbi Yeshua got sick. Amar, so he said, Aaron is not happy that I married one of his descendants. And Aaron doesn't want a son-in-law like me, meaning that he's saying that Aaron is not happy with the shidduch, and that's why I got sick. Rabbi bar Avin got married to bas kohen. From that couple, from Rabbi bar Avin came two big rabbanim. Rav Sheshes Beit Ravidi. The first big Rav was Rav Sheshes, the son of Ravidi, and Bishur the Beit Ravidi, and Bishur the son of Ravidi. So we see from here that it could be a good thing if you get married to bas kohen. Amar Papa, Rav Papa said, if I didn't marry a bas kohen, I wouldn't have become rich. So we see two different stories. That one hand, Bishur said they got married to Kohenes and he became sick. And on the other hand, we see that Rav Idi got married to Candace and Rav Papa got married to Candace, and they gained from it. They had either children Talmid Chachamim or they became rich. Amar Rav Kahana says, Ani lo nisivta kahana, if I wouldn't have got married to a Bas Kain, loi galoi, I would not have come into Golus. Meaning, Rav Kahana lived in Bavel, and in order to get married to a Bas Kain, he especially traveled to Eretz Yisrael. He's saying it's a good thing, meaning if I didn't get married to a Bas Kain, I did extra and mishtadlos to get married to Bas Kain, I even came to Eretz Yisrael. Amar lei, so they told him, what do you mean you wouldn't have been Gaili, you wouldn't have been exiled to Eretz Yisrael? How can you be exiled to Eretz Yisrael? Eretz Yisrael is a Makom Torah. So it's not exile. And so the Gemara, when I came to Eretz Yisrael, I never came to Eretz Yisrael like people usually come to Eretz Yisrael. People usually come to Eretz Yisrael. They come for different reasons. He's saying the reason why I came to Eretz Yisrael is because Dafka to marry a Kehanis, but I would never have come myself. Rav Yitzchak says, anyone who has any time who has benefit from Sudas Rishus, from a Sudah that's not a Sudas Mitzvah, in the end he's going to go into exile. Shanamar says in Pasuk, Ve'echlim Karim, Mitzain, Va'agalim Mitech Mar. And the Navi in Ami says that they ate sheep and they ate cows, without a Sudas Mitzvah. And the Pasuk continues and says, therefore they went into exile. So we see that eating in the Stam Suda, which is not a Sudas Mitzvah, is not a good thing. We learn in the Brayso, any time in the Chacham that eats a lot of meals, meaning he goes from place to place and eats meals, safe in the end, his base, his house is going to get destroyed. He's going to die early, and his wife's going to be almana. And his chicks, meaning his children, are going to be Yosemim. And eventually, he's also going to lose his wisdom. He's not going to be a Talmid Chacham anymore. Rabbis boys olav, and he's going to have a lot of machlekes, and he's going to have a lot of people arguing with him. And no one's going to listen to him anymore. And he's also making Chil Hashem. Rabbi, he's also desecrating his teacher's name. He's desecrating his father's name. He causes a bad name for him, for his children, for his grandchildren, until all the end of his whole descendants, he's making a bad name for them. Says the Gemara, what bad name is he making for his descendants? Amar Abaya said, that they're going to call his son the son of the oven heater, meaning since their father, since the Talmid Chacham would go from, it would eat by a lot of restaurants and eat from by a lot of sudas that are not sudas mitzvah, so he would get a name as a oven heater, meaning oven heater, someone who goes after the oven, and is going to desecrate his son's name. The son is going to be called the son of the oven heater. Rava says the name is going to be Bar Merakid Beikubi. His name is going to be the son of the bar dancer, meaning since he's going to go from bar to bar, so then he's going to be he's going to get drunk and dance, so he's going to be called the bar dancer. Papa says Bar Malachich Pinchi. He's going to be called the son of the plate liquor, meaning since he goes from meal to meal, he's going to be nicknamed the plate liquor. He licks off all the plates. Shmaya says Bar Moch Rava, the son of the clothes folder. What do you mean the clothes folder? It says that people they're going to go from bar to bar. Eventually, he's going to get drunk, and people get drunk usually don't go back home to sleep. They usually fall asleep where they are, and they fold their clothes, meaning they need someone to sleep, so they take their coat and they fold it and make it into makeshift bed. So that's called the clothes fold. That was the nickname for the homeless people in those days. So from here we see that the Talmid Chacham should only have a Sudas Mitzvah, because if it's not a Sudas Mitzvah, it can lead to all different bad things and eventually causing a bad name. We learn in the Brayso, a person should sell whatever he has Yisa bas Talmid Chacham to marry the daughter of a Talmid Chacham. Why should he marry the daughter of a Talmid Chacham? Shein meis, because if he dies, or im geile, or he goes into exile and he gets captured, muftach leisha banav Talmid Chachamim, he's gonna be assured that his kids are gonna be Talmid Chacham. Why? Because his daughter are gonna his wife's gonna raise the kids, and his wife is used to a from house, and she's the daughter of a Talmid Chacham, so she knows the stuff, and therefore she's going to teach the kids in the proper way. A person should not marry the daughter of Amaretz. She may because if he dies or gets into exile, his kids are going to be a Amaretz. Tell the Rabbanim, we're in a Bryce like this. The Bryce goes further. A person should sell whatever he has in order to marry the daughter of a Talmid Chacham. The Yisa bita the Talmid Chacham, and he should marry off his daughter to Talmid Chacham. Mashal, what's it a mashal for? Leim ve'agefen, bein ve'agefen. Davar no misgabel. If you're going to join together two branches of grapevine, so it's going to make another grapevine. It's going to be a better grapevine. So a Talmid Chacham should marry a Talmid Chacham, or he should marry a Talmid Chacham. But Yisa bas Amaretz, person should marry Amaretz because mashal. What's it a mashal for? If you're going to connect the branches of a palm tree, of a vine, to a thorn bush, which is davar koi, which is going to ruin it and make it a bad, disgusting thing. And people, no one agrees to such a thing, and therefore a person should not marry the daughter of Amaretz. Stop over here. That's Testament on the base, and we'll start tomorrow at the top of that from Testament base. Have a good night.